Avalanche. So, Avalanche is still absolutely smashed it for the past year or so. Stayed in the top 10 of all cryptos in terms of market cap. Very, very strong project. Net growth has been pretty staggering. Even the staking ratio is hugely high. They're keeping everything as secure as they can, and I expect this to grow really well. No doubt this is going to hit a pretty significant market cap this next bull cycle, so we'll talk about what this can hit. Before I get into it though, if you are new here, this spreadsheet shows the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel, and in the videos I showed myself buying up all of these coins, and you can see what the prices of all these coins were when I recorded and released the videos on YouTube. You can also see the highs these coins hit in under a year and a half, as well as what the profit would have been from 100 into each one. And if you had just thrown 100 into all of them, your profit in under a year and a half would have been at over 123k, which is pretty good. Now, I sold all of these. We had the market crash, and since then I've been buying new coins, and these are the coins that I share on my website, copymycrypto.com. So anytime I find a crypto that I think can do, make me a lot of money, I'm going to buy it. And what that means is I'll jump onto my site, I tell my members about the coin that I'm going to buy, the profits that I think it can have, and the percentage of my cash that I'm going to put in, and they can copy along exactly. What this means is they'll make the exact same profit as me, and they don't have to do any work. They don't have to dive into the markets. They don't have to learn about chart patterns, chart formations. They can just copy along and make the same gains. And if you go on to copymycrypto.com, you can see what they've made. You can see what I've said in the past and what happened. Everything on there is public record, so you can verify it all. When I find the next big coin, like I did with Phantom back in 2020, when no one was talking about Phantom. When I found Phantom at a market cap of $9 million. And it did a 700x nearly. So when I find a coin like that, I jump onto the site and tell the members about it. So if you want to find the next big coin and you don't want to do any work, copymycrypto.com is exactly where you want to be. So check the site out and see if it's something you want to try. Now, Avalanche. Avalanche is an interesting one. So it's worth noting, right? Price point hasn't been amazing. Across this sort of year, it was actually at really low levels of like $9.40. And it actually spiked in December to just shy of $50. So it did really nice gain before the pullback that it's experiencing now. Although it's worth noting that's kind of cup and handle kind of formation that it's in. Although on this crap chart, so that doesn't mean much. Now, there's a nice article on Captain Altcoin that was talking about Avalanche, but this is more of a paid one for Pushed. So we'll ignore Pushed because I'm not too asked about Pushed. I'll just talk about Avalanche. So Avalanche entered December at trading at the $22 level. By January 2nd, Avalanche price had surged 91%. Price has turned bearish in the following couple of weeks. However, Avalanche is hoping that its partnerships with and community engagement plans for 2024 will spur investor interest on, and they do have a lot that they're looking to do. So, first of all, by the way, Avalanche is a staked coin. You can get around 8.5% staking. Now, Avalanche have Avalanche's obviously product, but they also have Ava Labs behind it. Avalanche is a layer 1 blockchain, which has really good transaction rates. 6,500 transactions per second is pretty damn good. That's their aim. Now, they've got a very different architecture from most crypto projects. They have 3 individual blockchains: the X chain, the C chain, and the P chain. Each one has its distinct purpose, which is very, very different from anything else out there, because every other project pretty much has its own, just an individual chain, one. And Avalanche use different consensus mechanisms based on the chains as well. This means that there is less carnage in transactions that go through, because, like I said, each one has a different purpose. So they try and solve the blockchain trilemma, which is, achieving decentralization at scale without huge fees. So the X chain is employed to create and exchange native AVAX tokens with other assets. The contract chain, the C chain, hosts smart contracts and decentralized apps. And the P chain coordinates network validators, tracks active subnets, and enables the creation of new subnets. So they pretty much keep everything separate, and what that does is enable the huge throughput that they have. And by doing this, they've ended up being one of the fastest growing crypto projects. I mean, that was pretty much their tagline for the entirety of 2021. Although Solana kept trying to do this, did the same thing as well, but the fastest growing blockchain of 2021. And they've revamped their site a couple of times. Now, a real focus is just create without limits. They've got a whole enterprise focus now. They've also got a gaming and art focus within the applications, and the ecosystem's just been banging. So in terms of statistics, the stats for the network are pretty impressive in terms of active addresses. On a daily basis, you've got sometimes nearly 300,000 active users, but even on a daily basis, you're looking at over 100,000 addresses pretty much every single day, which is far, far better than a lot of the crypto projects in the space. You can also see how that's changed over the past 3 years or so. Closing on 4 years. So active addresses were piss poor throughout 2021. With occasional spikes up, and as we got to the sort of peak of the bull cycle, the active addresses absolutely rocketed up. We were seeing, the 100,000 region. Then there was a pullback. We had the whole market crash, barring these events and these random spikes. Although they're never random, but hovering around 40,000 active addresses. Since the market started heating up, we've started climbing consistently, and now we're hovering above 100,000. So overall network statistics show real active user base here, which is good. That's what you want. In terms of contracts as well, we can see how that's evolved over time. Across all the subnets, back in 2021, there was only about 30 to 40,000 active contracts. The back end of the bull cycle, there was about nearly 70,000. And now we are sitting at a staggering 700,000. So the network, in terms of just contracts, has 10x'd. And again, transaction count, obviously this will be kind of an accumulative process similar to how the contracts are. But transactions per day was real shite throughout 2021. Really only got impressive towards the end of the bull cycle again, where we were hovering around 600,000 or so, 700,000. As of this past month or so, we've seen the transactions skyrocket a few times, 6.5 million on one day, 5.5 million on another day, 7.4 million. So while it's fallen back down dramatically, pretty damn good. Again, showing real active user base here. And that's a really strong sign. What you want to see is an active user base. If there is an active user base, long term, the benefits here are that the price appreciation is there. If you've got 500,000 users per day, this is an active space, and people are going to use it. And you can see the projects that are across. This is all Ethereum. Why is it Ethereum? Okay, fine. Back to Avalanche anyway. No, because this is the ecosystem one, isn't it? That was the ecosystem tab. Ecosystem.avax. Maybe not. It just moved me. Okay, fine. So, yeah. So what you can see are a significant amount of projects that have actually grown within Avalanche. I mean, you actually can't count the amount. Oh, well, no, they can. 448 projects right now. Pretty damn good. And like I said, we're seeing across these, obviously some are better than others, but across the entirety of the Avalanche chains, the 3 chains, we're seeing 1 million, ranging between 500,000 and 1 million transactions a day. We're seeing 100,000 plus active addresses a day. This is heavily used, and they're going to keep adding to this. And with Ava Labs behind it, and Ava Labs is kind of an investment-ish arm of this, I think we're going to see Avalanche grow really, really nicely. Question will really fundamentally be, do they grow on the enterprise front? Because individuals are using this, you've got developers that are using this. Are we going to see growth in enterprise? And there's a few case studies worth taking a look at with Avalanche. So this is powering the next generation of finance, about Avalanche Evergreen, EVM compatible, Intane empowers participants in the multi-trillion-dollar fund. Okay. What we got? We got Intane reflexivity research, director of business development at Ava Labs, president of Ava Labs, the block report, tokenization of off-chain assets. See, that's a big growth sector. You should see huge growth in that. Just interesting, though. Just interesting, and because it's so friggin' active, this is one I think a new all-time high is fairly guaranteed. They've not stagnated in 2024. They've not stumbled in 2024. And realistically, look, this hit really good heights of about $146 in the last bull cycle. I don't think I don't see how it doesn't beat that in this next one. Circulating supply, 50% of the total of the max supply is out. If it hits $200, it's got a market cap of 72 billion. I think we could be looking at a little more than that. I think this could be trying to test around 100 billion as a market cap, which is just roughly a 10x from where it is right now. I think $250 is kind of the target point. And I think once we get to price discovery mode, it's got to get above $1.46. This blasts. It's absolutely blasts. $250 is a fair target for one of the most active blockchains in crypto. And they've been really innovative. They've with the creation of the 3 chains, it's one of the most active blockchains because of the 3 chains, because of the transactions per second. Everyone can use it, and there's not going to be a lag, there's not going to be congestion, there's not going to be an issue. So $250 seems very, very fair as a target point. It could do far more than that, but that will all depend on how high Bitcoin and Ethereum go as well, and when the bull cycle starts and ends. But I think 250 is a fair target for this. And if you are interested, it's worth comparing the transactions that are going through and the data of the Avalanche blockchain, and compare it with some of the other blockchains out there, and see the difference. Because when you see the size of the difference, you'll realize that there's a lot of gains to be had here. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. And guys, if you want to make the exact same profit as me in the next bull cycle, you can just head over to copymycrypto.com, check out the site. Everything on the site is public record, so you can verify everything that you read, that you watch, that you see. Whether that's what I said about Phantom when I released my Udemy course in 2020, whether it's about a DeFi coin I told people to leave because I expected it would die and it did. Whether you just want to see what the members have earned, it's all there. Like I said, copymycrypto.com is where I dive into the markets every day. It's where I find coins that are winners, and when I do, I buy them. And what that means is the members will find out all about the coin, the profits it can have, and the percentage of my cash I'm putting in. They can copy along exactly, so all work is removed and they will make the exact same profit as me. And like I said, if that sounds good to you, try out the service and see if it's for you. And that's it from me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.